Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Conversations Between Glo and God, episode 10. The title of this episode is The Lightness of Light versus the Weight of Hate. Have you ever noticed how hate makes you feel tired? I mean, like bone deep, weary, exhausted. But when you're loving and kind and joyful, you actually feel like you are floating on air, like you could fly, like you're soaring. There's actually some science behind all of this, but more importantly, there's a divine design. And I had this conversation with God about this because there are so many weighty things that are going on in the world that I wanted to know what can we do about that because it doesn't feel good. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what are we talking about when we talk about what light is, what hate is. We're going to be talking about some examples of what that is, and end with an invitation. The so what, now what of it all. What can we do about it? So, light and lightness, the light of lightness. I'm sorry, the lightness of light. What we're talking about is energy, thoughts that are light, feelings, and physical manifestations. So, the lightness of light, we're talking about love and joy, peace, kindness, forgiveness. Now, these are actually acts, things that you do, but it's thoughts and feelings that you have about them also. So, again, love, joy, peace, kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, hope, compassion, all these things that expand your heart and open you up so that you're touching the energy of the universe of divinity. Light is anything that aligns you with the creator. I call it God usually, but whatever you call it, source, uh, whatever. It's the natural flow of grace, the choice to see good, the decision to release what doesn't serve you any longer. It's not necessarily that it's bad, it's just that it's not working for you anymore. It's like, when you were in first grade, you had a little bitty desk. Not you're a grown person. You don't sit at that little bitty desk anymore. So it's not that the desk is is bad or wrong. You've just outgrown it. Doesn't serve you anymore. Light isn't just positive thinking. It's divine alignment. It's living in harmony with your true nature. Now, some emotional impacts, what you go through when you are in that flow with light and you're feeling it, is joy, which creates mental clarity, forgiveness, frees you up mentally and frees up mental energy. That is, you're not holding on to grudges or anything. It's hope, which we seem to be lacking somewhat these days. Hope, which activates the brain's reward center, and compassion, which increases your emotional resilience. Some of the physical impacts are smiling, which releases endorphins, acts of kindness, which lowers your cortisol and stress hormones, gratitude, which improves sleep quality. And look at one of the previous episodes where we talk about gratitude. Love and connection boost your immune system, actually. Uh, so the spiritual truth is that light reveals itself. Light shines on you and everything around you so that darkness is then restored to light. Hear that, what I said. It's not that light eradicates or gets rid of or evicts or uh, does anything that's violent, because light is not violent. What it does is it restores, it renews, it revives, it's revealing truth. It creates growth, it brings warmth. When we walk in love, we're aligned with our true nature. That is God's nature, and that flow is effortless. When we choose to encourage someone else, or when we forgive, when we get to the point that we realize forgiveness isn't necessary because we don't have judgment, when we're spreading joy actively, just having fun, where there are no pranks being made, okay? We notice how our shoulders relax. It's not a coincidence. That's you moving with the grain of how God designed us to be. So that's the lightness of light. Now let's switch over here versus this weight of hate. Again, energy, thoughts, feelings, physical manifestations. We're talking about anger, just thinking about being angry. And I know that all anger is rooted and grounded in fear that something will or won't happen, that you do or don't want to happen. Get that? It's bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness, rage, which eats. It's that like that snake that eats itself. It's eating its own tail. That's what rage is. You begin to consume yourself. It's contempt, malice. All these things constrict your heart. While light opens it, hate constricts it. It shuts you down. Hate is anything that pulls you away from your divine design. It's the heavy burden of holding on to hurt, the exhausting work of keeping score, the poison you drink, hoping someone else suffers. I know you've heard that before I have. Hate isn't just strong dislike. It's spiritual resistance. It's fighting against the love you were made to carry and that is still in there and all around us. Some emotional impacts of the weight of hate, resentment, like drinking that poison. It narrows our perspective and tunnel vision so that we really aren't able to see everything that's around us because it gets into survival mode, whereas the lightness of love is in thriving mode. Rage depletes our mental energy. It's just exhausting. It's either not being able to sleep or sleeping, but more like fainting and definitely not resting. So you wake up tired. It's bitterness that creates isolation and pushes other people away because it is energetic and people don't want to feel like they have prickly heat. Some physical impacts: raised blood pressure, the risk of heart disease, holding grudges increases inflammation in the body. I got to look at that. Bitterness disrupts sleep and digestion, and hate literally ages you faster. hmm Because there's more stress on your cells. Darkness is heavy because it fights against our true nature of light and love. Think about the last time you held on to anger for days. Remember how tired you felt, how the flavor and color of everything was muted. That's not what we were made for, y'all. And so we need to let that stuff go. Now, here's the last part, the invitation. We get to choose every single day, sometimes every single hour, whether we're going to carry and put forth light or carry and put forth the weight of hate. Beautiful truth. Here's what God taught me. Every time we choose wisely, every time we choose light over hate, we're not just making ourselves lighter, we're making the world lighter. Because that energy thing, the pebble that we throw into the water, we determine what that pebble is. And so the concentric circles that go out from that, we're actually controlling that. So your peace radiates from light. So does your joy. And that's contagious. Your forgiveness of others gives permission for you to be free. So here's your to do, the so what, now what. This week, I want you to notice what you're carrying. Is it light or is it weight? And you know what it is, if it's the weight of hate or the lightness of light, because of the way you feel within your body, because of the thoughts you're having and the weight or freedom of those things. Here's the good news. You can set down that heavy stuff right now, okay? God's not asking you to white knuckle your way through hating less. He's inviting you to step into love. Surround yourself with it. Allow it to surround you because it's there. And watch how your whole body, mind, and spirit exhales in relief. Choose light, not because it's always easy, but because we were made for it. And the things that make it so that it's not easy are actually weighty things. Think about that. So let me share with you um, a couple of things. A couple of months ago, well, first of all, when I was 16, I had my first job while I was going to school. After school, I would work at a hospital in the hematology laboratory. And the guys who worked there was all men who worked there in the lab. They adopted me like their little baby sister. I was 16 years old. He's a grown man. And we had cursing lessons. I did not know how to curse when I was 16. By the time uh, just 6 months had passed, I had a PhD in not only cursing but cussing, and I liked it. I have been cursing, being strategic about when I did it, but it was just fun. I can I cannot think of more than a couple of times where I was cursing at someone. It's just cursing about a situation, and I mean multi-syllable cursing. It was just fun for me. I'd be very strategic about who I was doing it with and that sort of thing, but still, it was just fun. It was play. A couple of months ago, God said to me, Gloria, I'm like, yes, stop cursing. Now, here's me. I will argue with God. I mean, I'm like, that don't make any sense to me. I'm not doing that, God. All that kind of stuff, because that is what I do. Sometimes, however, most often, God will tell me to do something, no question, no problem. But I did ask because I like cursing and I wasn't hurting anyone. So I said, why is that? And here's what God said to me: because the energy of cursing is going to be a barrier in keeping you from where I want to take you right now. I said, okay. Because I'm not addicted to cursing. It was just a fun thing to do. I believe that as I am doing, keeping my covenant with God about what I need to do this in the winter of my life, I believe that's going to be fun. I know it is. So it wasn't like I was losing anything. Look to see how you feel when you know, because your spirit will lead you to know when you should step more into light and step more out of hate. Even little things like that. Remember, I said it's about energy, your thoughts, your feelings, and what you do and say. Let those things go that don't serve you, that are barriers between you. You'll feel different, and you'll notice the difference in every part of your being. So just do this because it is one of the most rewarding, self-fulfilling things, energizing things you will ever do. That's it for today. Thank you very much. You take care now. See you next time.